If you're like me and never had a connection, or you never knew too much about your heritage, but you've been feeling a slight tug to get to know about it and get to know where your family's from, this video might just be for you. So I just turned 47 and I was reminded that my grandpa was around this age when he packed up his family. He lived in a province called Santa Ilocos Sur in the Philippines, packed up everything that he's ever known and left the Philippines to build a new life in Hawaii. And that life that he and my grandma built, I grew up in it. But for most of it, I had no desire at all to learn about the language, the culture, and the heritage. And this recent trip to the Philippines changed all of that. So by the end of this video, you'll see exactly why when I go back and get a little taste of what the Philippines is, I now have a desire to get to know more about it. Growing up in Hawaii, Filipino culture was always there. We were always surrounded by family. My mom, my grandparents, my aunties, they would always be rapping to each other in Ilocano. And I remember my grandpa, he was always raised, he had a bunch of roosters in the backyard. At times he would ask us to help him butcher the chickens. And, that was kind of wild as kids, but I do cherish those memories growing up. Also, my grandma, she would make us prepare the morongai leaves or rip them off from the stem, or scoop out the the papaya seeds from the papaya so she can prepare it for tinola. So we weren't completely whitewashed, we did have some Filipino flavor in us while growing up. One of my fondest memories was when all of us were together at the dinner table. My mom, my grandma, and my aunties, they would be rapping to each other, like I was saying, but they would be gossiping in Ilocano, talking about money, talking about property or whatever, right? And then my grandpa, he'd be at the head of the table. But I'm just saying, it's just something that I miss and I wish kind of still took place. But you know what? We're all, all our families are growing and we're all adults now. So I understand that things change. For most of my adult life, I didn't give much thought to my Filipino roots. I was a local kid, born and raised in Hawaii, and that was my identity. And, I was proud of it, and I still am proud of it. My Filipino roots were just kind of back here, hovering in the background. And in fact, back when I was a kid, I'm ashamed to admit that, there was a stigma to be labeled a bukbuk, meaning like fresh off the boat, right? Like just off the jet or whatever. And maybe that's one of the reasons why we gravitated to the more Western culture or Western pop culture, is so that we would never be mistaken for a bukbuk. I know that's bad. And that might be another reason why we didn't learn the native tongue of Ilocano, which is something that I really wish we had. Honestly, we just didn't want to be the outsiders. But as an adult, standing on Filipino soil, even surrounded by people who look just like me, I realized that I am the outsider. I'm just off the jet, just like I'm feeling this unfamiliar feeling of wanting to belong and wanting to be seen as a Filipino. It's easy to think you missed out on your chance to care about your roots. But spending that time with family in Santa, it hit me. There's still so much to learn, so much to appreciate, and so much room to grow as an American with Filipino roots. That was the real lesson of this whole trip. Being in the province, you realize real quick that everything operates at a different rhythm from back home, from here in the States. It's hot. It's humid. The infrastructure is pretty broken. The coastline gets beat up from bad weather over there. And the rubble from damaged homes from past typhoons. They're like left right there on the coastline as reminders. But right in the middle of that environment, there's Santa High School.
Yeah, a little bit.
And it's a campus that my grandpa founded, where generations of my family actually, to this day, they staff it, they take care of it, they run the whole school. And you just kind of realize how brilliant and how accomplished and how proud the people in Santa are, especially my family. And, I feel like it's pretty honorable that they took it upon themselves to bring up the youth and teach them right over there in Santa. What the province doesn't have, though, is that kind of relentless, restless hustle that we have here in the States. There's like a stillness there. There's a slow pace. There's an ease where people aren't constantly chasing the next thing. And I respect that. And that simplicity seems to just kind of bring out a genuine peace in the people over there. You kind of feel it the moment you sit down and just hang out over there. As we gathered over my dad and my Tita Josie's home cooked meals, and we watched like our relatives like come and go out of their courtyard and stuff where we were hanging out at. I just saw, it reminded me of my childhood in Hawaii, and that's just kind of like how we were, people would come and go, but it was all about family and it was like surrounded by food. So it seemed like all of that stuff, my childhood was kind of taking place right there in real time, right in front of me. The very culture that I kind of shied away from as a kid wasn't just like some faded memory. It was alive, it was thriving, and it proved that the best things aren't things at all. It's all about like the people and the relationships that you keep. After our time in Santa, we headed south to Siargao. I came here once before and fell in love with the place. And I knew Kamai would absolutely love Siargao. And watching him experience the Philippines as a teenager was a night and day difference from when I came here as a kid, because I did come to the Philippines at 5 years old. And yeah, it was just totally different. When I was 5, my memory of the Philippines was pretty basic. It was hot. There was just random memories of dirt roads with me, my cousins, and my mom, them just packing in a little Toyota. But for Kamai, as a teenager, this trip was a totally different deal. We were out eating incredible food, checking out the tide pools, the Magpaponko tide pools, skating down Malinao Road. That dude had a blast doing that. Getting on the mats at Katangnan Beach Dojo. We trained a couple times over there. What else? Grabbed a few beers. Yep, I let Kamai drink. I mean, he's 17. But yeah, just seeing him and spending that time and connecting with my son, man, all that stuff is worth its weight in gold for sure. And as a dad, getting to share those moments with him and watch him really sincerely enjoy it is just, man, it was easily one of the, if not the best things about going to the Philippines. I saw so much growth in him just from that little bit of traveling, because we did travel a lot. So he has a lot of travel under his belt now, getting to see the Philippines at his age and how people live over there. Yeah, I mean, I think it kicked up a little bit of maturity in him, and just seeing that as a dad, it just warms my heart. Looking back, this trip was a total full circle for me. Growing up in Hawaii, like I was saying, I definitely let those old labels like bukbuk get in my head. Like, I didn't hate being a Filipino, but I definitely didn't embrace it the way that I feel that I should have, or the way that I realized that I could have now that I know what it's all about. Going to Santa showed me where that open door, talk story environment came from. that my grandparents and my mom them brought from the Philippines, you know? And seeing Kamai in Siargao, riding the motorbikes, living in the moment, and just loving the place. Yeah, again, it just really warms my heart, and it showed me that he didn't inherit any of that old junk that I had where I was kind of worried about being called a bukbuk or that stuff as a kid. He just saw the Philippines as an awesome place with awesome people. That's why I have this whole new drive to visit the Philippines and to keep coming back and learning more about it. Like for the longest time, I just thought it was like a cool vacation, but getting out there like this recent time, experiencing the lifestyle more and not feeling like an outsider anymore, it just like totally changed the experience for me. It made me realize that connecting with who you are and where your family's from isn't backwards. It's actually one of the coolest, most refreshing, and most rewarding things you can do, especially for your kids. So if you ever felt disconnected from where you're from, or you've been holding it at arm's length like I did, hit the province, hit the islands, hit wherever your family is from, talk to your family and experience it for yourself, you know? Because like aging and getting older has a funny way of clearing your vision. When I was a kid, like I was saying, I didn't really care to know much about the Philippines, but now that I'm older, I appreciate it and I see the value in it, and it's heartwarming to me that that is my people. The Filipino people are my people, and I'm just proud to be a part of it. So if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe buttons. It just helps me out a ton, and it keeps me motivated to keep making more of these types of videos for you guys. But in the meantime, I hope you guys have a blessed day, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.